Hello and welcome to 5 Minutes with Sean, maybe 10. Today is fun. I want to talk about connecting with your industry. Assuming you've chosen a career in a specific industry, I have. Mine is the automotive industry. I think it's important that when I say connect, you understand what I mean. I mean connect with the people in your industry. Understand what other people go through that are in the same space. They might be on the other side of the table. In my case, I'm on the vendor's side now, and I was interacting with dealers this past couple days, as well as vendors out in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And if you follow the show, you've heard me talk about it before. We went up there and it was awesome. It was a hotbed of automotive personalities who love what they do. The passion was through the roof, and we recorded a ton of content. We'll be releasing to you guys over the next couple weeks. It's going to be awesome, but it really got me thinking about how much I kind of needed this reconnection to my industry. I get isolated. Again, if you've listened, I do a lot of my work from home, here, podcasts from home. Everything is kind of in the home office. I don't ever really get out unless it's to the shows, etc. The occasional client visit, of course. And so it's one of those things that you don't really notice that you're disconnected from your industry until you actually go and immerse yourself heavily in it for, in my case, 72 hours up in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. It was a hell of a road trip, fun, 7 hours each way. Blasted it with the wife. It was a great time. Again, reconnecting with her as well. Work tends to get in the way, but this is specific to our industry. And so I went out there and I met with Jeff Larson, who, if you follow us on LinkedIn, you probably follow Jeff or see Jeff's stuff. The guy is he's just as motivational as it gets. And when he uses that term dad, he doesn't use it loosely. He doesn't only, in my opinion, he doesn't only mean that about his children and his wife and his family at home, but he means that about his dealership and the people that he takes care of at work. As a team leader, as he is, he really gets involved. And so watching him, listening to him talk about this industry and about his passion for and the people surrounding it. He's been doing it 18 plus years. Myself, 20. After that, I sat down with Jay Jensen, again, LinkedIn star, if you will. And Jay's just a stand-up dude who's been doing this 30 years. And listening to his story and hearing him talk about the struggles in the beginning and then kind of burning bridges. I mean, just wait, guys. Wait till you hear these interviews. I mean, they're really packed with realism and raw emotion. And I think it's really important that just because we're car people, in this case, right, our industry, doesn't mean that we somehow deserve something less or different, right? So we want to connect. We want to engage with each other. And finally, I sat down with Owen Moon. Owen is just... he is someone, first of all, he looks way younger than he is. As a matter of fact, when I found out his age and his personal life situation, children in college, I was blown away. I thought to myself, wow, this guy's doing a hell of a job keeping himself young. And he was. And again, he's on the vendor side. So the first two are dealers. Jeff's a sales manager. Jay's a salesperson. There's basically 50 years there between those two. Owen brings another 18. Myself had 20. So, I mean, you're looking at, collectively, was it almost 100 years, right? 4 guys times 20 and Jay's 30. So, I mean, we're pretty damn close, right? So, yeah, 90 years of experience all over a 3-day, over a 2-day period of discussion. And then we had a dinner and we brought people together. We had a few people that were there and some other folks kind of at this dinner and wives, right? The wives of people in the car business. Man, my wife made a comment to me on the way back that, hey, we should really think about doing a 5-minute episode with wives of the car business. And if we're ever in a position to have them all in one place, I would totally be doing it. I'm totally down for it. I think it's important that we listen to both sides. And the women, as wives, they have questions. They want to know what's going on. They're inquisitive, right? And so that brings up more discussion. If it were left to just us, right? A couple of car guys sitting at dinner. By the way, beautiful dinner set up by my man Owen Moon up there in Sioux Falls. A great little establishment we were at. You find that it's 3 guys would have just sat around and talked business, but it never stopped. It would have been 3 hours of nonsense. But when the women are there, the wives are there, we involve ourselves in personal discussion. And that's where the connection really starts to take place. Started to exchange ideas, Owen and I from the vendor side with the dealers that were there and the discussions that were going on. I mean, it was really, really cool, and it all kind of came together last second. There was no real plan for it, but people, after spending the day with one another, said, if there was a way to extend this, if there's a way to have another discussion, we'd like to do that. We'd like to stay more in touch. So we did that, and we put it together, and we shared our experiences and found out just how like-minded we all are. And it gave me a renewed faith in our industry that, man, it's not going away. It's not going out of business at all. We just have to do it a little bit differently. It's not that crazy, right? I mean, the discussion even came up. Sean, how long do you give the car business? I mean, look, I don't look that far ahead in anything in life, but I can tell you ain't going nowhere in the next 10 years. Anyone who thinks otherwise obviously isn't invested or doesn't live the life. It's that plain and simple. And those are the ideas that were being thrown around. And the people who live at the dealerships daily talked about what they see, what they hear. Getting involved in social media was a big part of the discussion. So when I talk about connecting with your industry, it's not just sitting down with folks, but if you get a chance to break bread, have a meal, and really, really engage and discuss what's going on, there's something to be said about it. There's you might be able to hear my voice, you might not. It's been a long couple of days, to be honest with you, but I wanted to get this out there because I think it's important. I think we need to find the time. And that was another sort of vein of discussion because we were talking with Jeff Larson about just how he does it every day, content. Plus his dealership selling 200 plus cars, and he's part of a management team, and it just bang, bang, bang. And his point was make the time, find the time. And that's really what kind of resonated with me, kind of sat with me as we worked through this. And I wanted to kind of let that marinate a little bit, let it sit. And as I sat and thought more about it, that is what it's about. That's why I took this trip out there, was because I had a slot in the schedule. My wife and I had never been to South Dakota, and so we decided, screw it, let's get in the car and let's just drive and let's see what happens. And yeah, was there some hiccups? Sure. We were planning a little bit different interview with my boy Owen on the educational front. It had to change because his dealer, she was pregnant, she couldn't be available, right? So what do we do? Do we waste a day? Absolutely not. We figure out ways to still get involved, still grab content, still have people, bringing it to the show. So Jay's interview and Jeff's interview, very, very much the type of interviews, that's not even fair. These were a lot more personal, guys. So I want you to keep your eye out for those upcoming episodes because they were real personal. But Owen's session with me ran longer than most, and it was really 100%, maybe 98 with a slight sales pitch on Owen's part, but that was approved. It was all about business and education. And it was fixed ops education, things I hadn't looked at and discussed in my own life. So, that's what you have to look forward to. Please, if you're listening to this, just take with you the idea of connection. I saw my boy Bill Schaumburg do it last week, or the beginning of this week, at the Rockstar Auto Conference. Everyone I spoke to was raving about that show, so great work, Sean Kelly, Matt, and the team. Sean is obviously a guy that a lot of people talk with, and a lot of these motivational things kind of come from him and come from his discussions. So I tell you to get engaged with your shared community, whether that's via phone. I mean, I hadn't talked to any of these people by phone until the day before I was in Sioux Falls on the way trying to make a plan, and I didn't talk to Jay Jensen until Jay was lost at a hotel in his own town, couldn't find my hotel, right? Love you, Jay. So, guys, connect. Find time, make time. Otherwise, it's all going to pass by and we're just going to kind of have done it by ourselves. All right? Have a great day. Enjoy your week. As always, you can find me 262-278-0157 is the text and phone line. Email Sean, SEAN, at CarBiz Done Better, all over LinkedIn, not all over the other places. But if you are, send a message through any platform and it will get back to here. We're now on iTunes. We're on, I believe, Android, podcast.com. Obviously, the YouTube channel is huge, so share it, like it, love it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.